Hey, welcome in everybody. I've actually had a number of text messages today from poker friends of mine that are very, very excited for tonight's stream. Tonight is the perfect blend, the first perfect blend here on my show of crypto meets poker. Tonight our guest is Miles Anthony, the CEO of Decentral Games. They are the creators of Ice Poker, which is a free play-to-earn poker game. And I already have a number of friends that are grinders on the Decentral Games Ice Poker platform, so they're super excited for this. And I know a number of you have messaged me over the last 24 hours asking about what Ice Poker is, how does it work, how is it possible that I can play free money play poker and actually make money from that? Well, you will find out very soon. Decentral Games is built within the Decentraland Metaverse, and we'll also be talking a lot about what a Metaverse is. For those of you that aren't super into the crypto game, I know every single one of you are going to learn a little something new tonight, and we're going to have fun as always. Make sure you stay tuned until the end of the stream. As always, we always end every Loncar Live episode with some giveaway action. So with that, let's get the party started. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. And yeah, let's get to it. Miles Anthony in the house.
Hey, how's it going, Michael? Thanks for having me.
Hey, there he is, Miles. Thanks for being here tonight.
Hey, how's it going, Michael? Thanks for having me.
It's going really good, man. It's going really good. And as I said, I have a number of friends who are already, they're grinders on the Ice Poker platform, so they're extra excited to learn about you and learn a little more about the Ice Poker and Decentral Games. And obviously I know a bunch of my viewers tonight don't know about Decentral Games and Ice Poker, so I'm excited to spread the word and let people know what's up. So how you doing, man? You said you're in SoCal in Venice?
That's amazing. Yeah, right now I'm based in Venice. Just been here for the last few months, been able to focus, especially after kind of traveling a bit for various conferences and crypto events. And so, yeah, we've just been really focused on shipping all these, updates to Ice Poker. Launched it at the end of October, and just continuously been improving the product and getting it out there with several drops of these Ice Poker NFTs. So the feedback's been really positive, and we're just continuously trying to make it even better.
Nice. So you said, yeah, so Ice Poker is very, very, very new. You said it got released in October, so it's only a few months old.
Yeah. It was released in end of October, right at the end. And then, so it's only been about 2.5 months. And since then, the traction has been pretty wild. The product market fit is much better than any of our other games that we've had, that we've launched in the Metaverse. And so, yeah, we're just trying to, continue to grow the user base and improve the product and kind of create this entire in-game economy based around play to earn that's, long-term sustainable.
Awesome. So as I said on the intro, and I've had a number of people message me like, what? I can play free money? No, I don't have to risk a penny on the actual tables and make money. So I obviously know how it works with the NFT and the wearables. Can you please describe to viewers out there that don't know anything about Ice Poker how the ecosystem works and how it's possible for them to play for play money chips and actually earn money while doing that?
Yeah, definitely. So to gain access to Ice Poker, it's not available to everyone. You have to either have an Ice Poker NFT or receive delegation to an Ice Poker NFT. And so by owning one, we've done several mints to distribute them to the community, some in ETH and some in ICE, the token that is given as rewards in Ice Poker. But essentially, once you do have access, or you do have an NFT and or you have delegation to an NFT from an NFT owner, then you're able to play this free play poker game where you get allocated chips each day. You get 3,000 chips if you just have one NFT, which is what typically most of the users do. And basically, you have 3 challenges that should be achievable by just playing, roughly around 2 hours or more. such as see the flop 20 times, win the hand 10 times, get a flush one time. You have one easy, one medium, and one hard. And if you achieve these 3 challenges, you get rewarded ICE tokens. And then based on your position on the leaderboard, basically there's a leaderboard that breaks down all of the users that day based on their net chips gain or loss. And so it's broken into 20 different tiers. And so based on your position on that leaderboard, you get a multiplier. And so if you're at the very top, in the top 5%, you get a 2x multiplier currently. And if you're at the very bottom, you get a 0.3x multiplier. And so your earnings can really range based on your performance. But in order to earn ICE, you have to achieve those 3 daily challenges first, and then you get that bonus or a deduction based on your performance. And so that's basically how the ICE poker ecosystem and reward structure works. And so yes, it's been amazing to see the response, because a lot of people are able to just play poker for a couple hours a day. And right now the current rate with the current price of ICE, you can earn pretty much $50 if you play average per day by just playing ICE poker.
That's amazing. So just like in actual real money poker games, even though you're playing play money tables with your NFT wearable, the amount of ICE tokens that you gain is still based on how well you do on the tables. Like you said, you finish in the top 5% over a 24-hour period, you get more you'll get more tokens than someone who isn't doing so well and isn't winning as many hands. And so it's still poker, guys. It's still poker. It's not just everyone plays and gets tokens. So as you said, it's not available to everyone. You have to purchase an NFT wearable, which is I love NFTs like this. It's not just a picture of a giraffe that you hold in a wallet. It's an actual NFT that is worn on your 3D avatar, on your 3D character in the Decentral Games platform in Decentraland, and you can see it on your character. And obviously, this is the ultimate definition to me of an NFT with utility. So I'm actually going to pan over really quick so you guys can see this. Basta, BBC in the chat. What's up, guys? So let me go over to my screen grab real quick and let me display. One second. Let me display the Decentral Games website right here. Wait for it. Done. There we go. Okay, one second. Okay, there it is. There's what we're looking for. So so guys, exclamation point guest in the chat. And there is the Decentral.games website link, which is what I'm looking at right now, as well as the Twitter and Instagram links for Decentral Games and Decentral Games CEO Miles Anthony. So make sure you guys check out all of those links. But this is the Decentral Games website. And if you click on the ICE Poker tab here at the top, you can click play, get started, and here is the marketplace where the NFTs are displayed. And there's also a minting that goes down every week or two, Miles, where you can get, if you're lucky enough and have the timing right, you can also purchase an NFT wearable at a discount. So talk about the minting and how people can get in on a quote-unquote discounted NFT wearable.
Yeah, so we actually started minting these. So obviously from day one, started off smaller drops. Our first line was the ICE suit, and basically that one has 100 units per NFT, and so each line that we drop has 5 different NFTs, different articles of clothing that you can wear on your avatar. And so you just need one though. And so once you have one, then you're able to play ICE poker. And initial mints were actually held at 0.1 ETH. We slowly graduated up to 0.25 ETH. And then we actually did one mint in ICE. And then more recently, our last mint, which was held last week, was 0.5 ETH. And the secondary market right now is pretty healthy. There's lots of secondary volume on OpenSea, and they're trading roughly around 1.4, 1.5 range. And so, yeah, these mints are definitely a good opportunity to get one at a discount. And, we're thinking of ways to, incentivize the right behavior and the right kind of ownership in the ecosystem and able to participate in these mints. So right now, in the past, like you kind of just had to have 1,000 XDG staked or 1,000 XDG, as well as the ETH on Polygon to mint. But in the future, yeah, we're thinking of ways to kind of improve this minting process and also just target the folks in our community that are really adding a lot of value and have vested interest in the Ice Poker ecosystem and decentral games.
I love it. I'm not gonna lie. The whole tokenomics ecosystem is genius, and I actually retweeted the tweet you put out yesterday, just a little bit ago, and you asked which Ice Poker value proposition most appeals to you. The reason I thought of this is because you talking about the value of the NFTs during minting and on the market, and the 4 options for this poll that Miles Anthony put out was play free poker, earn ice, which was the number 1 most answered out of the poll, which was 44% of people. Number 2, build your own guild, 34%. The third option was flip your wearables for a profit, only 7%. And that right there, to me, speaks volume on how valuable these NFT wearables are. The fact that only 7% of people said, yeah, I'm going to buy this NFT during the mint for cheap and just sell it instantly on the market for a lot more. Only 7% are saying that. So that means most everyone is aware, like, these are in essence, in a lot of people's view and in my view, more valuable to hold, hang on to them, and play poker with. And as you said, we'll talk about this more in depth here in really soon, guys. If I personally own an NFT wearable, I'm the owner of that. I am the owner of that NFT wearable, but I can delegate it to a friend, and now my friend can play on Ice Poker through my NFT wearable. And I believe it's 70-30 right now, Miles?
Yeah. So the delegation split is currently 70-30. I actually just submitted a governance proposal yesterday to update that to 60-40, and then eventually incentivize kind of the higher ranked wearables to have a more favorable split towards the NFT owner.
Okay.
Since they're kind of, bearing the majority of the cost. But yeah, basically this idea of delegation kind of was, came to existence around the game Axie Infinity. And basically, it's pairing 2 different parties together that kind of, in an exchange, basically the player, doesn't want to buy an NFT, but wants to play. And, the NFT owner, buys the NFT, but doesn't necessarily want to play, or they have several NFTs. So they want to delegate them to several players to maximize their revenue. And so it's a really great system. I think we've seen some amazing things. Like actually 84% of our players right now are currently playing with the delegated NFT. And the way I see it is essentially we're creating this, kind of ecosystem that we've been really looking in from the perspective of like a mini country. It has like kind of its mini economy. And so it's really important that, we allow folks to participate in the ecosystem to kind of move up the ranks. And kind of the flow that we're going for is a delegated player, because the first step in the door, you get a delegation to an NFT. You don't have to make any capital investment. You just find someone with an NFT and then get them to delegate to you. Then you can play, you can earn ice, you earn a percentage, majority of the ice rewards, percentage goes to the NFT owner. And then eventually we want these folks to then, purchase their own, wearable with the earnings, and start earning 100% of that. And this is kind of what we call a player owner. And so when you're a player owner, you have custody of the asset, you earn 100% of that asset. And then eventually, we want to incentivize folks to take another step, mint another NFT, and then delegate that one out to someone else. And so essentially with this delegation system, we're able to essentially allow people to build these things called guilds, which basically is, from one NFT owner, they're able to delegate each one to a player. And so they have these revenue splits with each one of their players. And so over time, you can actually scale this as, a viable business in the metaverse that generates daily payouts every 24 hours at midnight UTC. And we've seen right now we have of our a little over 5,000 daily active players. we have over 1,100 guilds. And a guild is just, at least an owner of one NFT that's delegated to another user. And so we've seen actually, some people buy up a bunch of them and, have quite a stack of these NFTs. But it's been amazing to see the fact that we have these kind of micro guilds forming, because we feel that those are the people that, are familiar with the ecosystem, and they see the potential of this passive income by owning an NFT that has utility, delegating it to a player that can play for you and earn you rewards as well. And then, obviously they're incentivized to then expand their collection, mint, on every drop, and it kind of build out these mini guilds. And we feel that in any play to earn ecosystem, it's much better to have a more decentralized ownership of the assets, of the NFT assets within the ecosystem. And we feel that, doing these drops is only one per address. You have to have a certain XDG token balance in your wallet to participate. This is like, the right approach to kind of lay the groundworks to a really vibrant in-game economy with, decentralized ownership amongst, a lot of different users.
No, this is amazing. In fact, I'm reading some of the chat here and people are describing this so well. Talking about the OpenSea floor price right now is currently around 1.5, 1.4 ETH, pays for itself in about a month. One NFT can earn more than 600 ICE tokens per day. If you're good at poker, that's approximately $110 per day. I just wanted to ask you the definition of a guild. So if let's just say I owned 10 NFT wearables and I delegated them out, is that my guild? Is that the definition of a guild?
Yeah. Basically, that's essentially what a guild is. It's like, one owner of all the assets, and then delegations to several different players. Obviously, you can start with one, then kind of graduate to several. But yeah, that's essentially what a guild is. And we feel that this is an essential piece of our, play to earn ecosystem, because we want these folks to be managing the players, making sure they're performing well. And we actually have already built tools so they can more effectively manage their players and, build that guild and scale it. And so right now, our initial version of the delegation dashboard is what we call it. It's on the DG website. If you go to Ice Poker tab under delegation stats, and essentially you're able to see exactly how your players are performing. So obviously, if they do well, then you earn more tokens too. So you're kind of aligned through their performance. And so it's really important to have that transparency between the NFT owner and the player, just so they can effectively manage the guild. And so this kind of goes back to our discussion earlier about upward mobility. And so, in any kind of economic system, I feel that it's really important to have the ability to kind of move up the ranks and, move up in status within the ecosystem to increase your earnings potential by owning more NFTs and delegating them and effectively managing your guild. And so kind of can think of it like a metaverse native, business that from day one generates cash flow and, gets daily payouts in ICE, every 24 hours. So yeah, that's an interesting model. Yeah.
Very awesome model. Mystical Tigger in the chat says passive income is more attractive than a flip. And that right there is why these NFT wearables are so hot right now. Basically, in essence, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miles, because I've had so many people message me about this, like, how can this work? In essence, you guys are making money from the NFT wearables and then taking some of that money and distributing it back out through ICE poker tokens to people that are playing and earning and playing poker in its simplest form. Isn't that correct? Or
right. So when we launched ICE Poker, we created a new token called ICE. And essentially this is kind of, there's a budget for ICE that's being distributed to players each day. And every 24 hours, it's claimable by all the players that day, depending on, how well they perform, you get more or less. And so basically with any player and ecosystem, you kind of want a full cycle of the flow of tokens. So, obviously the distribution is through the game. Obviously you need to have utility for the tokens after, the users earn them. Otherwise they're just going to sell them in the market. And so initially, we took the mint proceeds, created a pool on quick swap on Polygon with ICE and USDC to kind of accommodate trading. But the real purpose of, the ICE token is to use it as a means of upgrading your items. So each NFT by default starts on level 1. And then by burning ICE tokens, a small amount of DG paid to the treasury, the DG treasury, and as well as XP points, or just XP, you're able to basically upgrade your ICE wearables to a higher rank. And so by doing that, you actually increase the value of the actual NFT. It's actually a new NFT, much flashier, that's sought after by collectors in the community. And given, the amount of work and the amount of tokens that are required to kind of craft and, mint these newer, higher level NFTs, there's an incentive to do that. And because of the price floor for those is much higher than the level 1s. And so, that's kind of like the full cycle of the ICE tokens. They're getting distributed to the players through the gameplay, but the players, there's like this kind of a game within the game of ICE poker of upgrading the items to be rarer items that are worth more than the level 1s. So there's 5 different levels total. So you actually can upgrade it 4 different times for each NFT. And then the final level is a really flashy diamond hands is what we call it, level 5 wearable that's golden typically, really stands out in the metaverse. So the whole economy kind of is functioning around the idea that by burning these tokens, you're actually creating new assets that have much higher value than the sum of the old NFT plus the ICE and DG that you've paid to upgrade it. And so that's kind of the full life cycle of the ICE tokens. It's not just a rewards token, but also something as a utility token in order to unlock these higher value, rarer NFTs.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, I was thinking that myself about how, before I became educated on the ICE poker tokens, I was like, oh, why aren't people just going to dump the ICE poker tokens? And then exactly what you just said. I love how you guys have integrated upgrading your experience and your NFT wearables with the ICE token. And Ice Poker God in the Twitch chat, what's up, brother? He says, ask Miles what controls the supply of ICE tokens, please. And just real quick, Miles, before you answer that, I always end the show with a question and answer segment, and I see a bunch of absolute fire questions that need to be asked. So please stay tuned. I'm going to keep you guys on the hook a little bit and make sure to ask all those questions here in a little bit. So yes, Miles, what controls the supply of ICE tokens?
Basically, the supply of ICE tokens, it's really dependent on how much people are earning in the game. And so we have the smart contract that distributes all the ICE tokens that people claim from. And so we basically are minting ICE tokens as people earn them in the game. And then obviously the burn is what removes them from circulation. And that's done automatically via upgrades. And so essentially the supply of ICE tokens increases, the more people that are playing and, earning that ICE. And so it's kind of it's free floating in a way, but, it's really dependent on the players. So ideally, we really want to get the ecosystem to a point where the tokens being emitted and the tokens being burned is somewhat equal. This way, it's not inflationary or deflationary. It's just kind of a full loop. Right now, given that we've done a mint and ICE, it's around 0.7 or so. So for every 1 ICE token that we've emitted through a reward, 0.7 ICE has been burned. And so there's a few different things that we have planned, including the governance proposal that I submitted last night that I think can drastically improve this ratio. But the ecosystem is, I would say, pretty healthy at the current rate of burn to earn, is what we call it. Considering a lot of the other projects out there that are live with play to earn ecosystems kind of have a very inflationary token. Most times around 0.1 burn to earn. So basically they emit 10 times the amount of tokens that they burn via, their ecosystem. So yeah, I think we're in a really good place, but we're constantly trying to improve that ratio, just so that supply of ICE, doesn't get, too large.
That's awesome. Perfect. And I will ask this question because it's been asked a few times. When is the next mint? Are you allowed to share that right now? Or what's your answer with that?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're trying to keep a good cadence with these mints. Each time, we find different things that we can, improve with the process. just to make it smoother for the folks that are trying to mint, because, sometimes, it doesn't, not everyone gets a mint, and sometimes it's due to like a bottleneck in the tech. And so, we've been trying to keep a cadence of like around like one mint every 2 weeks about.
Okay.
It really depends though, because like we always want to add new features and make the process better, but those new features always need to be tested sufficiently by our QA team. So, before we actually roll them out. So it really depends. And so that's why we haven't really published like a specific schedule for the mints. And really the mints are also kind of used as a lever on the economics of the ecosystem, of Ice Poker. One tool that we have to remove ice from circulation is doing mints and ice. That directly removes ice, and we burn it from the circulation. The other thing, the other type of mint is the ETH mints. And so that obviously, raises a lot of money for our treasury, which, most recently we've utilized to establish LP positions in both DG and ICE to kind of accommodate larger trades of those tokens, as well as just buy back DG because, we actually do feel that the market is undervaluing DG a slight bit. Just not financial advice, obviously, but we're just very, bullish on our ability to expand. And so we felt that after a DAO proposal, the community felt that it was a good use of funds to buy back some of that DG. So yeah, it really depends. It's really up to the DAO how we allocate these funds. But the last vote was basically decided to allocate the funds from the prior mint to now, and then also our next mint, which it's looking like we'll do it next week. Still finalizing the day. I think we'll probably shoot out a blog post announcement, sometime at the end of this week, I would say, as to when that mint is next week.
And if you guys are really curious when that day is going to be, make sure you click on those social media links that I just put in the chat right there, ! Guest, Twitter, Instagram again for the Decentral Games account, and Miles Anthony. Make sure that you hit those notifications on the Twitter Decentral Games account so that you will be notified when the next mint is. And someone just asked in the chat, is the mint in ICE or ETH? I know for a fact that one, as Miles said, one of the mints was done with Ice Poker. The rest have been in wrapped Ethereum on the Polygon network to save money and gas fees for you guys. And again, all of the information that you want to get into is on those social media links. And I'm also going to add in the Discord link again here for Decentral Games real soon here. So let's take a step back before we're going to continue talking Decentral Games and Ice Poker, obviously. If you don't know me, I've been a professional poker player. I'm 35. I've been a professional poker player since I was 21. That's the way I've earned my living for a good 14 years. And for those of you just tuning in, I'm also a sponsored team pro at America's Card Room, the second biggest online poker site in the world. So obviously I know a little bit about poker. You have to have some kind of poker background, Miles. Were you a poker player at all before, or talk to me at all about your poker experience or any poker playing that you've done previous to Ice Poker?
I actually get cleaned out at the Ice Poker tables every time I hop in. I think people I basically distribute chips to everyone because they're beating me. Now I've always liked poker. I haven't really played any like professional poker, mainly just with friends. But I just felt that, after, we built several different games and, casino style games in the metaverse, and poker is just one that I felt was just perfect for play to earn.
Yes.
Just because it's really important to have multiplayer peer-to-peer competition as opposed to house versus player.
Yep.
It's important to, obviously be able to see other folks in the metaverse while you're, playing, because, our whole ecosystem is built around these, NFTs that are basically a flex,
Yep.
Having those NFTs. I'm sure that the folks from the DG community or the Ice Poker community in the chat can agree, but yeah, it's really, that's essential. And so, yeah, it has to be multiplayer, has to be, peer-to-peer wagering. And so, yeah, it just made sense given we already saw like the sessions for our poker players before we launched Ice Poker were much longer than, our other games like Blackjack and Roulette. And so it just made a lot of sense to just focus on that, even though, I'm not obviously a professional poker player. I just really like the game.
Awesome. And you don't have to be a professional poker player or even an above average poker player to make ICE tokens in this ecosystem, which is a very beautiful thing. Cougnut75, what's up, Poppy? He says, where has this been all my life? Welcome in, guys. Let's see, we got some new viewership. And now let's go one step further. I've heard you mention the word metaverse multiple times. I know that's a common term. Obviously, we've been hearing a lot within not only the crypto ecosystem, but just in, you hear about Facebook and Meta, and it's definitely a worldwide big time thing going on now. If you were to put it simply to someone that just has absolutely no idea what a metaverse is, how would you explain that to them, Miles? What is a metaverse?
Yeah, so I'd say like the bigger, definition of metaverse is kind of like that's kind of in the public eye now since Facebook, has pivoted to Meta, is like kind of this virtual space, like shared virtual space, and it's essentially just like the next iteration of social media and just kind of like socialization, on the internet. And virtual world is a great manifestation of that, just because you can see the other person's avatar, you can speak with them and chat with them, play games with them. And so I think it's a bigger definition of it is mainly just this shared virtual space that anyone can access on the internet from anywhere in the world and enjoy experiences together. And then of the metaverse, there's kind of this like subsection of the bigger metaverse movement that's kind of referred to as the Open Metaverse within the Web3 and crypto communities and NFT communities. And essentially, the Open Metaverse is like this kind of economic system that backs like this shared virtual space. And so essentially, these communities, the Web3 community and Open Metaverse community, they feel that using a blockchain to keep track of digital assets is the correct way of doing it. Just because if you're on a centralized platform and you have assets within that ecosystem, you can't move them out of that ecosystem. You can't extract that value and move it to some other. You can't swap it for other crypto, or you can't use it in another game. And at the end of the day, whatever platform, if it's a centralized metaverse, they essentially can remove and take away your assets. And so by using a blockchain to keep track of ownership, it kind of gives like these digital property rights to the participants and the players in that specific metaverse. And so I obviously am very bullish on open metaverses just because of the property rights. People are willing to pay a lot of money to accumulate assets because they kind of know that they actually own those assets. They have custody of them on the blockchain, and so no one can take them away. And so obviously we're very bullish on that idea, and I think it's really just in its infancy. And the next couple of years is going to be a pretty wild ride. And so for us, we kind of felt that building a game that everyone typically likes to play, like poker, adding kind of the token economic element to it to earn as you play for free, and tying it to ownership of these NFTs that you can have custody of on the blockchain was a great combination. And we feel that we have very big plans for Ice Poker and Decentral Games, and we feel that establishing ourselves as a leader in this blockchain gaming space that's growing exponentially now is a good move for growth. And that's kind of been our main focus, and we just really wanted to get live and ship as fast as possible in order to start iterating and receiving feedback from our community and improving the product. We've seen a lot of other games out there that are kind of haven't launched yet, and we feel that it's just so important to be live and to be iterating and receiving feedback to kind of just because after all you're building the product for the community, and it's important to what they want.
That's perfect. That's a perfect answer. In fact, from now on, when anyone asks me what a metaverse is, I'm just gonna have that like 3-minute clip right there of you talking and just be like, hold on a sec. Listen to this. That was a beautiful answer. And it's funny, the first time a number of months back that I heard about metaverse and virtual world and whatnot, I knew immediately how big and popular it was going to be, just because of the pure fact that my oldest son, Benny, he's going to be 12 in a couple weeks. He plays on Roblox. And for those of you who don't know Roblox, it's literally a metaverse. I mean, it's literally, he has a 3D character and he's walking around. and he can talk with other people who have their own 3D character, and he loves that. And it's interactive, and it's cool, and it's like its own 3D world. And obviously, once I started learning about it, I was like, wow, my son plays on a metaverse platform every day, and there's a reason it's such a big thing. And I think, as a couple of people are saying in the chat, like literally ground floor right now for what the metaverse is going to bring in the future, and it's exciting. And I love your answers to all that. Now, I want to go back one step further, Miles, and someone in the chat asked, "Where are you from?" Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into Decentral Games, your background. Tell us a little bit about you for a second. Your background.
Okay.
Did you go to college? Your previous jobs? Anything at all you want to share on how you got to Decentral Games and your background?
Yeah, definitely. So, I grew up in San Diego.
Lucky you, man.
Ended up going
San Diego. So amazing.
Yep, San Diego, and then ended up going to school at UCLA. Studied math and economics, and started my first business when I was there.
Nice.
It was an e-commerce business, kind of like electronics e-commerce business. To the point, I scaled it to a point where, when I graduated, it was generating enough cash that I, didn't have to get a real job like many of my, peers and friends did. And so that was in 2017. And, then and there, I, started investing in various cryptocurrencies. I didn't really understand, a lot of the kind of Web3, the Web3 angle. I kind of viewed it as more of like a financial asset. I thought it was interesting. And, over time, I, after doing several, ICO investments, including Decentraland, which was in August of 2017, I believe, I kind of got more involved and kind of was diving deeper into, what you can actually build using that technology. And so as, initially an investor, and then kind of started building all various types of applications using, Ethereum, I kind of was able to determine, what I thought that, would be popular. And, the thing with Decentraland that appealed to me the most was like, I just felt that, during a time of all these scams and ICOs in 2017, it was one project that I felt that could actually deliver and had a really good use case for crypto and, NFTs, because it was like a virtual world. And so, was kind of involved with the community for a year or two. After that, we participated, in the land sale, just kind of watched from afar and just kind of messed around with making various different applications on Ethereum. It wasn't until 2019, early 2019, when I realized that no one was really addressing the most obvious use case of the metaverse, which was, multiplayer wager-based, games. And I felt that, it'd be really easy to onboard a lot of folks, especially when the user numbers were really low, to games that were familiar to them. And so I felt that, casino style games would be, popular initially.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of what we started building at Decentral Games, is casino style games, just because, they've been popular for a long time. And so we started with slots, then, went on to roulette, built backgammon, blackjack. And then it wasn't until recently that we built poker. It was about a year ago we started building poker. And so, yeah, we kind of had a traditional, business model. Initially, we just, wanted to make, it playable with crypto. It wasn't until October 2020. And that was when I wrote the DG white paper. And, it was kind of inspired by a lot of these DeFi, token models that popped up, basically with the mechanism of distributing, the token, the governance token, to the community by using the product. And then that governance token governs a treasury that accrues value from that product or platform. And so that was kind of our first, foray into, having a token that's live, and, launched that December 1st of 2020. And so, a little over a year ago, and, grew the community around that idea. And then it wasn't until this last summer, actually, it was in July of 2021. I remember I was in Paris for an Ethereum conference called ECC, and it was right when like Axie Infinity, started picking up. Everyone was talking about it, FOMOing about it. This like new play to earn, wave of crypto. And it was until then, then I really dove into, how it actually worked, and looked into the economics, and I felt that, you know, it was something that was just bound to be massive. I thought it was like just like the first iteration of some much larger movement in the space, kind of like how Compound was like the first project that like, you know, experimented with this whole like liquidity mining idea. And then basically that kicked off DeFi summer, where like everyone, you know, released tokens based on like these liquidity incentives. I felt the same thing would happen with blockchain gaming, but Axie Infinity was like the compound, and then obviously the explosion of innovation kind of occurs after. But the only thing with gaming is, you know, for games, it really takes a lot of time and effort and iterations to actually make, you know, good games. And I feel that, you know, with DeFi, obviously, you know, it's much easier to just fork like a DEX or a you know, a AMM and just roll it out with a new token the next day. So I feel like for this cycle for play to earn, it's actually going to be much longer and kind of drawn out compared to the DeFi summer. I feel that, you know, it's really, like you said, Michael, we're just like scratching the surface of the iceberg right now. And I felt that at that point in time, that was during summer, I was like, it's a no-brainer for us to position ourselves, you know, as a leader in this new wave, because I felt it was inevitable, it was going to happen. And we already had these games, you know, we already had a metaverse native community, crypto native community. And so I felt that kind of just innovating with the token model and applying it to a game that we already have mostly built, poker, Texas Hold'em, then, you know, it'd be wildly, you know, popular. And so, yeah, I didn't announce it to the community until I was like really, you know, sure about the idea. I actually remember I announced it September 1st last year. I published a white paper that I had written over the summer. And then, yeah, then we shipped a lot of, you know, updates to that existing poker game. We added like the challenges. We, you know, developed all the wearables, the whole process of leveling them up and upgrading, built all the smart contracts through that next 2-month period. And then we launched it, end of October. So it was a pretty quick turnaround. It was pretty amazing that we were able to get it live that soon, considering, you know, we had just kind of published the idea on September 1st. So about a 2-month turnaround on that. And then, yeah, since then, you know, we've really been honing in on how we can, you know, grow this thing to 6 to 7 figures of daily active players sustainably. And so now we're kind of like putting on like the economist hat mostly, and really thinking about things of, you know, the way like an economist would think about a country. This is kind of, you know, how we're viewing ice poker and making the best decisions to grow it into something that, you know, can sustain itself, you know, has like a equal burn to earn ratio of the rewards token, and has a really vibrant community of players. So it's obviously challenging, but, you know, I think it's something where, you know, we can really establish DG and ice poker as like one of the leaders in this kind of new space that it seems like even the biggest players are really venturing into now, you know, with Facebook rebranding to Meta, and then, you know, Microsoft even just acquired Activision today, like for 69 million or so, or billion. I mean, today? So yeah, it's like, these are all metaverse gaming plays, I think. Yeah. And, you know, I think, yeah, so basically we just see this huge wave coming, and we want to be early. So
yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, that 2-month turnaround time. That's amazing. I'm guessing a lot of nights. What are you, a Red Bull guy or coffee guy? What are you? You gotta be something.
Yeah. It was the DG team. The whole team was amazing. Amazing turnaround. We have some really talented engineers and designers, and everyone on the team really is great to work with. And so, yeah, we had already built a lot of the game. It was mainly just innovation around the economics and, you know, challenges, structure, kind of the way people earn ice tokens and claim them on the website. And so, yeah, it was amazing to get it out on time. And we gave 2 months, a 2-month like time frame right when we published the paper, and it was great. We were able to deliver on that because, you know, typically in crypto, you know, you have these really grandiose roadmaps, and typically teams aren't really able to meet the dates that they put out for themselves. So, you know, I thought it was great that we were able to do that.
Of course, man. Hats off to you and the team. That's amazing. Like you said, I'm like very accustomed to so many crypto projects having a roadmap of, okay, August 1st we're doing it. Okay, no, September, no, November. That's amazing you guys pushed out that fast. We're going to pop off my favorite part of the show right now, the question and answer segment. If you guys have any questions, do you want answers?
Sounds good.
Right now about Decentral Games, Ice Poker, Miles Anthony, please ask away right now. I'm going to start it right now, scrolling up on the chat. See Kaiser3, what's up, brother? I know the answer to this, but I'll let Miles take the answer to this one. He says, so if you lost your 3,000 play chips on Ice Poker in one day, is your NFT gone? No, it's not. Or do you just have to wait until the next day to get 3,000 more chips?
Yeah, it just resets every day. So midnight UTC, whatever your chip balance is, gets reset to your amount of chips that you typically would start with. If you have one NFT, you start with 3,000. Two NFTs, you start with 3,500, and so on up to 5 NFTs, and you have 5,000 chips to start with. And so, yeah, it just resets every day. Basically, it's just a daily competition for folks to, compete with each other on, and everyone is earning ice. So it's this really positive, EV positive, gameplay experience.
Love it. And yes, to answer your question, you cannot lose your NFT. There's no like, I'm going to go all in and bet my NFT on this hand. There's none of that. Your NFT is yours, and you can't lose it. Question, What will happen when ICE is fully minted, or will it be fully minted?
Well, ICE will continuously be minted by just the emission from the gameplay. And so that's kind of just driving ICE emission ongoing. And so our kind of objective with that is to not scale too fast with the drops, because each NFT that we drop is kind of corresponds to a emission of additional piece of emission of ICE. And so we really want to nail these economics early and construct the right incentives for upgrades, delegations, everything within the ecosystem, so then we can achieve that more even distribution between the burn and the earn of ICE. So yeah, it's obviously there's no cap to the ICE supply, but we're constantly thinking of ways to reduce the supply via different sinks, is what we call them. And so right now, obviously the upgrades and the mints are the main sinks, but we're already planning for several more other ways to use ICE, to burn it, to add value to your experience in Ice Poker or your appearance in the metaverse. And so yeah, those are the two main kind of areas of focus for ICE sinks right now, and we want to establish these as early as possible. So then as we scale to 1 million users, we're in a much better position and won't kind of be in a position where the inflation becomes like too much to handle. And so that's kind of the reason why, also to let everyone know, that's the reason why we just haven't been minting like crazy, just because we really want to make sure this thing is ready for massive scale. And to do that, I think we really have to keep a close eye on the burn to earn ratio.
Love it. Ysick15, welcome in, man. He says, do you have plans for higher stakes tournaments with buy-ins for ICE, play for ICE tokens, cash games, other poker games, etc.?
Yeah. So, right now, like our current product is, this just general Ice Poker Metaverse. We have plans for a few different other product lines. I released, a few different picks on like one of our community chats around like this mobile experience that we're thinking about, basically a 2D mobile experience. So we kind of view that as kind of like an entry level to Ice Poker. It's, obviously that will be able to scale much larger, much faster. And it'll be kind of based around the same economics. So, we want to roll that out within the next few months, start testing it with the community. And then also we kind of want this upper, more premium experience from the metaverse. And so we're working on a lounge right now for only diamond hands holders. Basically, a diamond hands holder is like someone who has upgraded their NFT from level 1 to 5, burn a bunch of ice in the process. And so obviously we want to create an experience for them that's premium. And then part of that experience would be kind of like these higher stakes tournaments where you can gain access to them and buy in with ice. And so that actually will act as like another ice sink. So we are, we're planning for that, but obviously with the tournament structure, it'll be a bit different from the typical like daily challenges and 24-hour period for typical, ice poker. For the buy-in with ice experience, we're probably going to target more of like a traditional poker tournament where, you have increasing blinds and, it's like last man standing kind of. So, working on that and, hope to have something like that live pretty soon here. So we can have another sync for ice and, accommodate these, a bit more serious poker players in our community that, a lot of them have become kind of ice celebrities, which is awesome. And so, then one other thing that we're kind of thinking about, we really want this kind of upper echelon experience for the diamond hands holders and like being able to buy in with ice for tournaments to also be paired with kind of like a streaming experience as well. So we're trying to plan for the ability to basically televise those tournaments within, our Discord community, which has grown considerably. I think we're went from 8,000 to 36,000 or so
Nice.
users in our Discord. And so, we kind of want to give these guys that within our community that have kind of already become like celebrities within ice poker, kind of the ability to compete on a grand stage and, compete for prizes, after buying it with ice. And so that's kind of what our plan is in terms of expanding the product line.
Love it. Cruz Bonfa says, is ice NFTs renting illegal? So no. So again, if you own an NFT wearable, you can delegate it, which basically means let someone else that use it for a while to play and earn. And as of right now, it's the player will retain and keep 70% of the ice tokens that they earn while they play. And then the owner of the NFT wearable that delegated, or I guess you could use the term rented, let you rent the NFT for a little bit, they would get 30% of the tokens. And as Miles said, he just put in a request last night to change that to 60-40, 60% for the player, 40% for the delegator. And Bosted, how much is this to join and how much is the NFT? So if you were to go onto a second marketplace right now, I believe it's about 1.4 or 1.5, right in that range right now, of an Ethereum token to purchase one. And obviously the way to get one at a big discount is through a mint. And as Miles said earlier, a number of the mints were at 0.25 of an ETH. The last one last week was at 0.5, half of an Ethereum token. And again, that's what we were talking about, how if you wanted, you could mint an NFT wearable for half of an Ethereum and go right to the marketplace and sell it for 1.4 of an ETH and flip a profit. But that's the point, is that these are so valuable and the passive income from this are so sweet. Very few people are actually flipping them. People are realizing there's more value, especially in the long term, to hold them, play with them, delegate them out, build a guild, have some players that are playing for you. You can just sit back and collect your profits. It's a very beautiful ecosystem. And again, Baba Ganoush is going to put the Discord link for Decentral Games in the chat for me. Baba Ganoush, please do that, and I will get that entered into the command. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be doing a number of ice poker streams where I'm playing myself coming up real soon. So for my poker regulars and all of you newcomers, I know a lot of you are here from the Decentral Games community. Make sure you turn your notifications on when I'm streaming. And again, I'll be doing some, not only grinding on the ice poker tables myself, but I'll also do some giveaways while I'm streaming and to delegate out some NFT wearables to you guys so you guys can play and earn and get in on this, because this is an amazing ecosystem and amazing thing. Yeah. Awesome, man. Appreciate you, Miles. Appreciate you coming on today, man.
Hey, thanks, Michael.
Yeah.
Appreciate you having me. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. I have to ask my personal question. It's been on my mind. How old are you?
I'm 26.
That's amazing. I knew you were going to say about 26, 27 since you said UCLA 2017.
Yeah.
I have to give a massive hats off to you for where you're at as a 26-year-old is amazing. I can hear the intelligence just pour out of you when you speak, and massive shout out for making this happen and doing big things, man. I know most 26-year-olds aren't CEOs of a big crypto company. So, yo, shout out to you and keep doing big things. And I'm going to look forward to upcoming and new features that I know you're going to roll out soon on Ice Poker and Decentral Games. So, yo, congratulations
Awesome,
on
Michael.
all your success, and definitely going to be rooting for you for more success and more awesome things with Ice Poker and Decentral Games. Appreciate you again for coming on, man. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and letting us all know a little bit more about Ice Poker. Appreciate you so much, Miles. Thanks a ton, brother.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
All right, man.
See
Have
you
a
guys.
great night. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Miles Anthony, the CEO of Decentral Games, the creators of Ice Poker. Baba Ganoush, actually, if you can, you know what? I'm going to find myself. Okay, so there it is. Discord/invite/Decentral Games. So I'm going to put that link in the chat right there. Seabass just put it in. Make sure you guys click on that if you want to know more about Decentral Games, when the next mint is going to be. Miles said they're trying to do them every couple of weeks right now. I know there was a mint last week, so definitely expect the next mint to happen in the next couple of weeks. If you want to know the exact date, time, place, again, make sure you click on that Discord link in the chat. Get on in on the Discord, ask questions, everything will be answered there for you. And also exclamation point guest for all of the Decentral Games links. And also Miles's Twitter and Instagram links as well. And shout out to Baba Ganoush. Shout out to Baba Ganoush for putting this whole thing together. Much love, brother. Yeah. Again, awesome show. Appreciate Miles, who I know is just one hell of a busy guy, taking an hour out of his time to come on the show. Miles Anthony, appreciate you again, man. Appreciate you again. Wow, 26 years old, man. That's amazing. I'm 35. I definitely wasn't anywhere. I guess I'm actually probably still not as quote-unquote successful as him as a 35-year-old. But yo, shout out to him, doing big things at such a young age. Amazing. And again, I appreciate all of you guys being here today. I know I see a bunch of my poker stream regulars in the chat. Thanks to all of you guys for being here. And a shout out to all of you newcomers. I know a bunch of you are here because you're enthusiastic and in to the Ice Poker and Decentral Games community. Make sure you check out my future streams. I'll be streaming Ice Poker multiple times over the next number of weeks. Very excited for that. And again, I'll be doing some giveaways to delegate out some NFT wearables so that you guys can play as well. Thanks to all of you for being here. Until next time. Adios. If you liked this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, which is free. And don't forget to click the bell, which will let you know when any new video has been uploaded to my YouTube channel. If you want to catch my streams live, I'm currently streaming all day Wednesdays and all day Sundays over at twitch.tv under the username Loncar Poker. Thanks for watching.